Anna and I decided to get away from Null and spend the weekend camping in a forest we hadn't explored before. It seemed like a good idea to escape the city and find a bit of adventure. As night fell, we set up our tent and started a campfire. The warmth and crackling of the fire, combined with the canopy of stars above, created a sense of serenity that we both cherish. After a while, the fire began to die down. I stood up and told Anna I'd gather some branches to keep it going. She nodded, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the flames, and I walked into the darkness. The forest was dense, and I had to use my flashlight to navigate through the underbrush. I found a few suitable branches and was about to head back when I heard a blood-curdling scream. Anna. I dropped the branches and sprinted back towards our campsite. When I reached the spot, she was gone. My heart pounded in my chest as I called out her name, but there was no response. Then, faintly, I heard her scream again, further into the forest. Panic surged through me, and I ran towards the sound, my flashlight beam bouncing wildly. She was huddled behind a tree, her face pale and eyes wide with terror. She looked up at me, shaking. "Dustin, I saw someone," she whispered. "A man in black with a hood. He came out of the bushes. I got scared and ran." Anna's fear was palpable, and it infected me. We needed to get back to our campsite, but in the darkness, everything looked the same. We wandered, trying to find familiar landmarks, but everything was shrouded in shadows. As we stumbled through the forest, we saw flickering lights in the distance. Hope flared briefly in my chest. "Maybe it's another campsite," I suggested. We moved towards the lights, but as we got closer, we realized it wasn't a campsite at all. It was a large, decrepit barn. Figures in black robes moved in and out, some holding torches that cast eerie shadows on the surrounding trees. We crouched behind a bush, watching in horror. The door to the barn closed, and we crept closer, peering through a cracked window. Inside, the scene was straight out of a nightmare. People in black robes were gathered around a person hanging upside down, blood draining from their body into a large bowl. They passed the bowl around, drinking from it and shouting in an unknown language. My stomach churned, and I felt Anna grip my arm tightly. One of the robed figures spoke, their voice low and menacing. "I know about the young couple's camp. We can use them." We decided to follow the three figures who left the barn, hoping they would lead us back to our camp. Moving quietly and staying hidden was difficult, but fear kept us going. The forest seemed even more menacing now, every rustle and snap of a twig setting my nerves on edge. Finally, figures led us back to our campsite. We hid behind trees, watching in horror as they started to destroy everything. The Satanists slashed the car's tires and scattered our supplies. I felt a cold wave of panic wash over me as I saw them take our phones, which had been lying on a log near the campfire. We waited until the Satanists finished their rampage and disappeared back into the forest. Once they were gone, we hurriedly grabbed what little we could carry and set off into the forest, trying to put as much distance between us and them as possible. We moved quickly but cautiously, aware that the Satanists could be anywhere. Anna gripped my hand tightly, her eyes wide with fear. I tried to offer her a reassuring smile, but the truth was, I was just as terrified. Suddenly, a shadow moved in the corner of my vision. I turned, my flashlight beam sweeping across the trees, but I saw nothing. Just as I was about to dismiss it as my imagination, a figure lunged out of the darkness. One of the Satanists had been lying in wait. Before I could react, he grabbed Anna from behind, his arm wrapping around her neck while his other hand pressed a knife against her throat. She gasped, her eyes widening in terror. "Don't move," the man hissed, his voice cold and menacing. His eyes glinted with a twisted glee, as if he relished the fear he was causing. I froze, my mind racing for a way to save her. "Let her go," I said, my voice trembling. "Please, just let her go." The Satanist sneered. "You think you can just wander into our territory and leave unscathed? You have no idea what you're dealing with. Somewhere behind us, a branch snapped, and the Satanist's head jerked towards the sound. Seizing the moment, Anna twisted in his grip, bringing up her hand that held the pepper spray. She sprayed it directly into his face. He screamed in agony, tracking the knife as he clawed at his eyes. I didn't hesitate. I lunged forward, tackling him to the ground. We grappled in the dirt, his screams filling the night air. Adrenaline surged through me, giving me strength. I managed to kick him hard in the stomach, and he doubled over, writhing in pain. I scrambled to my feet, grabbing Anna's hand. "Run," I shouted, and we took off into the forest. We didn't know where we were going, but anywhere was better than here. Branches whipped at our faces, and the rough terrain threatened to trip us at every step. But we kept going, driven by sheer desperation. My mind was a blur of fear and determination. I had to get us to safety. After what felt like an eternity, we stumbled upon a small hut. Its windows glowed with a soft light, a beacon of hope in the darkness. It looked like it could belong to a ranger or a hunter. We had no choice. We needed help. I banged on the door frantically. "Help, please. Let us in," I shouted, my voice cracking with panic. An elderly man opened the door, his face lined with concern and confusion. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice steady despite the urgency of the situation. "Please, we need help. There are people after us," I said, my words tumbling out in a rush. He ushered us inside, locking the door behind us. "There's a phone on the table," he said. "Call 911. My hands trembled as I dialed, and I quickly explained our predicament to the operator. The police assured us they were on their way. Finally, we heard the sound of sirens approaching. Relief washed over me, and I felt tears prick at the corners of my eyes. The police arrived swiftly, surrounding the hut and taking our statements. They moved into the woods, and soon we heard the sounds of firing. The officers returned, leading the captured Satanists, their faces twisted in fury and defeat. One by one, they were loaded into police cars, their reign of terror over. Anna and I clung to each other, the adrenaline slowly ebbing away. The police assured us that we were safe now. The forest, once an exciting unknown, had revealed its darkest secrets. We left with the dawn, vowing never to return to that place.